If there is something I notice when I analyze the ideas of Warren Buffett, it is that many of his lessons about money are incredibly simple, but very few people actually follow them. One of the most important ideas has to do with the order in which people use their money. Most people do something like this. They receive their salary. They pay their bills. And if there is anything left, they save or invest it. In other words, they follow this formula. Income minus expenses equals savings. But when I study how Warren Buffett thinks about money, I realize that he suggests doing the exact opposite. The formula he believes in looks more like this. Income minus investment equals expenses. First invest. Then spend what is left. At first glance, this might seem like a very small difference. But when you analyze it over many years, it changes everything. Buffett often repeats a very interesting idea. He says that you should not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. When I analyze this concept, I realize something important. This is not just about money. It is about financial habits. Because when someone decides to invest first, they automatically limit how much they can spend. And at the same time, they allow something much more powerful to happen. They allow their money to start working for them. And this brings us to another concept that Buffett talks about constantly. Compound interest. When people hear this term for the first time, it might sound technical or complicated. But the idea is actually very simple. Compound interest happens when the money you invest begins to generate returns. And then those returns begin to generate even more returns. It is like a snowball. At the beginning, the snowball is very small. But if it keeps rolling downhill for long enough, it becomes bigger and bigger. When I look at the story of Warren Buffett, there is something that surprises many people. Most of his wealth was not built when he was young. It was built much later in his life. Why? Because compound interest needs time. A lot of time. That is why Buffett also says something very powerful. He explains that the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. And when you really think about it, this makes perfect sense. Many people want to get rich quickly. They look for the stock that will explode, the cryptocurrency that will go up 1,000%, or the perfect investment. But when I analyze Buffett's strategy, I see something very different. His approach is actually much more boring, but much more powerful. Invest in strong businesses. Hold them for a very long time. And allow time to do the heavy work. There is a famous idea that summarizes his philosophy very well. Buffett believes that the best holding period is forever. And even though many people think investing is extremely complicated, when you study Buffett's approach you realize something surprising. The strategy is simple. Patience, discipline, and consistency. Because in the end, wealth is not built with one big decision. It is built with many small smart decisions repeated for decades. And the earlier someone starts, the more powerful that snowball becomes.